Okay, thank you. Thank you all for coming. And I'm very excited about this topic I'm going to talk about. So I hope that you are too. And well, during lunch, I was talking to Dr. Moore that was sitting next to me about plagiarism. And then actually what I have here, I stole from some of the places that let there be light, and that was light. I should have referenced that. It was from the Bible. But I didn't, so I apologize. And there was originally, God created light. You have sunlight. We all have sunlight. We still have sunlight, although today we don't have much today. And then we want more lights. Then we have fire. Then we got lights from fire. And then later on, then we invented candles and lamps. And that's where we get our lights from. And then from fire to lamp, I think it went for, I don't know how many thousands of years. And then from the lamps to the light bulb that Edison invented, I think that was in the 19th century. So we had this for another, I don't know, a couple thousand years or hundreds of years. And then we have been using the light bulb for over 100 years. And then there's a fluorescence light that come along that's supposed to save us some energy in terms of electricity. But then we have been using this for a long, long time. So only in recent years, and then we are trying to use what we have been using in our laptop, in all the electronics, in using semiconductors. And that can also give us light. So this is the LED that you are going to see, going to replace all this regular light that you're seeing now. And then, of course, there's a laser, including there's a laser pointer that I'm using. And well, this is not exactly semiconductor, the green one. But all the other, the red one, those are semiconductors also. So we have gone through this evolution of light in thousands of years. But every time, it takes some time, but we hope this latest one switching to semiconductors to LED is going to be much quicker because we really need it to save energy. So this is what you probably have seen around you, that how LEDs light up our lives. So this is like in the display windows. People have been using that for, I know, over 10 years for decoration. And then there's a NASDAQ billboard. It was built with 1.9 million LEDs, and that was in the late 90s. And it cost a lot of money. So you can see this index here, and now it's 1,000 points higher. This is 1829. This was the NASDAQ index, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. So I have this LED that light up your pocketbooks, literally light up your pocketbooks in the display windows. So if this goes down like this, it also light up your pocketbook if you have a lot of NASDAQ stocks. And this is the LED. You can use it in indoor. You can use it as a mood light. And you can use it to lift your mood. And for the suntan, this is a violet LED. And also now a lot of the cars, instead of using the lamps, and you also find the LEDs are in the installed in the cars. And this has been going on probably for at least 15 years, particularly the cars. The red one, the stoplight, that was the first one that changed over because the LED is an electronic device. It responds really, really quick. You step on the brake and then you save, like it will light up in split seconds. So the regular lamp does not do that. And the fluorescence lamp, you know, some of the fluorescence lamp that's not that great. You turn it on, it takes a few minutes before like, it gives you the amount of light that you want. So this, the LED has been slowly but surely is replacing many of our light sources. So these are your familiar. These are what you see at night in Hong Kong. So these are New World buildings. And these are the Canon buildings. And then you see this changing colors. And there's AIA. I think this must be LED. And then there's Eiffel Towers. So these are the architectural lighting that people have been using the LED to make all kinds of different displays. Of course, there used to be neon lights that you will see, but the neon light is very expensive, and it also uses a lot of electricity, and much, much more than the LED that we're talking about now. The LED, little tiny semiconductor chips. And I can show you, I can even run on mobile device. I actually have a couple samples here that we make in our lab that we can make the display that you can see that run on batteries. It can run for a long time. So this is what recently people are doing now, is using the LED for illumination. So the early one that I talk about is mainly indication, architectural lighting, decoration. But now we're talking about from decoration to illumination. And this is a big, big step that we want to have the LED give you enough light to replace this one here. All these are the very recent installations around the world. And then this one is a gas station in Beaverton in Oregon. And then this is the Munich airport. And then these are the high-pressure sodium lamps that you see in parking lots, a lot of the places. And now people are replacing them with the LEDs. And then the Hong Kong Airport Authorities has a lot of LED lamps. And you can ask Mr. Tong about it. He's sitting here. And then they are one of the really forefront showcase of LED lighting. And then these are many of the street lights around the world. They're also trying to replace it with the LED. Of course, many of them are not very well made. So you might see some of them, the color rendering index might not be very good. Actually, there was one time I was in a parking lot. It was in California. And I had a rental car. It was I think it was a red or maroon color rental car. And then I parked it and went in for dinner. When I came out to the parking lot, I couldn't find my car. And then because the color rendering index of, I think it's probably not LED, probably a high-pressure sodium lamp. And the color, it's actually a kind of dark gray instead of red. So I was looking, and this is not the car that I rented. But that is, we're talking about the color rendering index of your light source. If it does not have a good color rendering index, when it shines on whatever object that you're looking at, it's not the original color. So this is what we use to designate how good that your light source is representing the sunlight. We call it the color rendering index. And then this is a bridge in Guangzhou, and you can see it's changing color. There are many of these around now. It's really beautiful. And then a lot of the integrating this solar power street light. So during the day, it can absorb the solar power, and then at night, then it can light up itself. So this is in Hong Kong, back to Hong Kong. And then when I first came back to Hong Kong in the year 2000, and then I look around, and then some cities already changed the traffic light. This is the first use of the LED, is the traffic light. And then in Hong Kong, there was essentially none, zero. And in Taiwan, there's some. In Singapore, there's some. In the States, many of them just change the red color. And I'll tell you the detail if you want to know why. And anyway, in Hong Kong, it was only in the 2004, and in the Hong Kong government is to start using the LED as trial use, they call it, trial use. But now if you look around, it's almost 80% of the LED lights. Of the traffic light, they are LEDs now. They are all LEDs. So this is, I have this little figure here. It's, a lot of people, they don't think out of the box. And I said, this is the thing, you need to think out of the bulk. So you don't have to use a light bulb as your light source. And you can have the semiconductor as a light source. So this is chart here is I'm trying to show you a comparison of the cost of ownership of the different light sources, the incandescent, the light bulb, the halogen, also light bulb, the fluorescence, and the LED. So I call this a comparison, the cost of ownership comparison. I call it Latonomics. Okay, I didn't steal it from anyone. I invented this word. It's the economics of LED. So what I'm comparing here is the initial cost for you to buy a roughly maybe a 60 watt or 75 watt incandescent light bulb that will give you 800 lumens. This is the amount of light that you see from the light bulb. So it might cost you around $8. And then for halogen lamp, it's more expensive. And then for the fluorescence, there's a wide range. And then for the LED, that will give you this amount is around $150. A lot of my colleagues challenge me about this cost. They say, well, the really good ones, it will cost you $350. Well, I say, yeah, because now there's a really wide range of quality and wide range of prices that you see. And this is not settled down yet. I just give some kind of average price here. And these are actually good ones. And then the lifetime of these light sources, and for the LED one, you can use it for 50,000 hours. And then for the lifetime of incandescent, you have to replace for 50,000 hours. You have to replace 50 times. And then this will be the cost if you replace 50 light bulbs. And then for the halogen, it's a longer lifetime, so you can you only replace it 25 times. And then the fluorescence is also longer lifetime. You only replace it 5 to 8 times for 50,000 hours. And then now we talk about the electricity cost that you save over the electricity cost you use to give you this amount of light over 50,000 hours. Because of the incandescent, it's very inefficient. For each electrical watt that you put in there, it only gives you 11 lumens. And for halogen, it's a little bit better, 14. For fluorescence, it's quite a bit better, 3 times better, about 53. But for LED, it's twice of the fluorescence and almost 10 times of incandescent. So if you calculate that if you run your light source for 50,000 hours, that you have to pay $3,000 if you use a light bulb. And then you only need to pay $320. I'm using about $1 per kilowatt hour. That's the electricity cost. And then the maintenance cost, and then if, okay, I don't know how you want to count your own labor power at home, so I just estimate some maintenance costs, like the traffic light or some, like you need to hire somebody to replace the light. So there's the labor cost that you need to change it like 50 times or 25 times or 5, 6 times. So they just give a number there. So you add up all this like cost of how much you pay, and then how much electricity you need to run your light source, and then the replacement cost and so on. So this is your total cost of ownership for 50,000 hours of 800 lumens of light that you get. And then you can see if you use a light bulb, you don't change it, it will cost you almost $5,000. You use the LED, and it's only 10% of the cost. So you need to consider is the total cost of ownership, but not just the initial cost of buying the light bulb. And of course, a lot of people are also like challenging me that said, yeah, you said 50,000 hours, and then I brought the LED lamp, and then they only run for 500 hours, even shorter lifetime than the incandescent light bulb. That's true, because a lot of the lousy products are out there, and they are not well made. A lot of the time, it's just what is around it, like some of the like bonding wire and things that can be broken. So it's just not good quality control. But if you have a good one, it can endure, it lasts for 50,000 hours. So this is the cost that I just looked up in the internet from the Home Depot, and for an LED lamp. And then this one is, you might call this, it's a tapai for, it's called $18. This is US dollars. And then for this from Philips, and this is $25. And they said they already cut cost. And these are the light bulbs that can give you a certain amount of light that can replace a 75 watt light bulb replacement. And then some of them, they don't want to claim 50,000 hours. They just say 25,000 hours. And then these light, they are actually not that efficient. It's only 65 lumens per watt. If you calculate how many watt, this is the input power, the wattage, and how many lumens that you're getting, and then you can easily calculate the lumens per watt. This is the best light bulb you can buy now. And even though the LEDs can give you 100 lumens per watt, but when they turn into light products, it's only 65 lumens per watt. And then also they are quite heavy. It's over 6 ounces, and then it's 176 grams. So I'm giving you a little preview of what we are doing in the lab. And this is what I call is N high, N low, and no LED light bulb. This is what we make in our lab.